talked with Damanhur. A lot of changes tonight. We have a new guest with us that it's not actually a guest because you will accompany us during the different meetings. Entello.
Yeah, convoy.
And we have another guest that is still not arrived. It's a surprise.
It's a surprise.
It's not a surprise because we already told about Spinacio, but Spinacio is arriving from very far. It will be here in a few minutes. It will join us. So we have to start and not to start waiting for Opossum. Tonight, the topic of tonight is magic, the magic. This is a very interesting topic, of course, because from one hand, it's one of the traditional topic about spirituality. Maybe in the modern ages, the most complete and interesting model of magic come from the Middle Ages. Okay, or also told
our guest, I think it's arrived.
I think our guest is arriving. It's arriving.
Just here.
Very good. And so the topic comes from Middle Ages on one hand. In the other hand, we have also many other examples during the history of mankind of use and practice of magic. Tonight, together, especially with the help of Opossum Spinacio, we want to introduce the magic from the point of view, from the perspective of Damanhur. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Opossum, welcome.
Convoy. All right.
Thank you very much to be here.
Thank you to you.
You were arriving from far, so we had to wait, but we are very happy to meet you here. I want to immediately talk about Opossum. Why we asked Opossum to come here to talk about magic? Opossum Spinacio came to Damanhur many years ago.
1995.
As an artist, mainly as an artist, so a painter. Also you work around the restorations, and of course, because was a painter, because was an artist, one of the first and most important role of Opossum was to work inside the temple of humankind. Work inside the temple and paint, doing art, creating art inside the temple of humankind, that means, of course, also work with symbols and many aspects related with magic. That's why we asked Opossum to come and to talk not only about magic and this aspect, but also to talk about you and your life in Damanhur. Because we have to remember that more than the Damanhurian topic, what is important for us are the Damanhurians. So thank you very much, Opossum.
You're welcome.
And I have a first question for you. First of all, why you came to Damanhur?
Why?
Or how?
How and why are two different topics.
Yes, very.
Anyway, I came because friend of mine many years ago, during coming out with friends in Milan, taught me about Damanhur, especially about the founder, Roberto Einaudi Falco Tarassaco. And when he told me I have to talk to you about Roberto Einaudi, I told him, yes, you have to talk to me about Roberto Einaudi. It seems yes, it seems as the ancient stories about the apostles or something like
ancient league of people.
Yes, and it happened in this way. Also because at the time, spirituality
for you,
community. So I was totally far from this kind of behavior. And so I came the first time in 1994. I participated to the summer solstice. And when I arrived around the circle of the summer solstice, I decided that's the place where I have to go. So I left my work, I left my mother.
You left your family? Bye-bye.
Yes, she was very angry. And now we have a very nice rapport between us. And I came to live here in the summer of 1995. How? Don't remember. Maybe by bus.
Do you remember the price of the ticket? So, and immediately, or maybe in the first period, you also started to work inside the Temple of Humankind. I have a question. The question is, what means, or maybe what happened to you when you start to use magical symbols? For example, painting the symbols. Is the symbol that you paint only something that work from the people that will see the symbol, or also painting the symbol, using the symbol, change something?
For me, in the beginning, has been a very strong appreciation, but more, I have to say, as a falling in love. So really, I could not answer you in a technical way.
Yeah.
Because drawing symbols and painting symbols are specific functions we put inside of a collective work inside of the temple, because our art is based on this kind of idea.
Yeah, we have to remember that for Damanhur, the design, especially about the Temple of Humankind, is always a collective work, a group work.
Precisely.
Yeah, it's not a single artist.
So the work has been very...
It is also magical. Many artists that they work together, it's magic.
It's magic, exactly. And so the work has been strong much more in designing, in projecting what will become figures and what will become ideas to paint, and especially the signs. I say this because you asked me about the signs. The signs, the sacred language signs, for example, are inside of the figures, and are inside of the, I do an example of the movements of the branches of the trees, or depending by the colors of the plants or colors of the rivers, or else, especially the colors of the clothes of the represented personage. Afterwards, after sometimes, I started to study in a deeper way what we call the sacred language, which is
many examples.
Many examples. And for extension, now I'm very interested in the sacred languages all over the world. For example, as the Hebrew letters, or the very ancient signs of the Neolithic peoples, crowds like those. So it is, for me, it is always...
So not only the modern alphabet, but also ancient symbols.
The ancient one.
Mm-hmm.
And for this reason, I'm very fascinated by the symbols which are inside of the artworks. Also in the Renaissance, or in the Middle Ages, or even in the...
Sometimes hidden.
Hidden, yes.
That you have to discover it.
Inside of the movement, this very famous Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper, but also in many artists, especially in the Renaissance, because of the importance of transmitting
Yeah.
a meaning inside of a figure, also if it is not suddenly recognizable inside of the figure, but you can recognize it if you know how is the project, how is the designing and the meaning you want to transmit.
Yeah, you already touched a very important topic, I think, about magic as something that is always in the history of humankind hidden, covered in some way, something that the people that know how to use it, they have to discover it, and not something, completely public for everyone. Can we say that in Damanhur we started to do something a little bit different? So instead to keep in secret everything, we started to publish, we started to describe what is magic. Is it correct?
Yes, by one hand, our school of philosophy, our school of magic, in fact, it is much more oriented in discovering and even, how can I say, express to the world and reveal what something has been veiled for many millennia. And
reveal actually means to veil, to cover again.
Exactly, as the famous game of words used by our founder, by our master. And but by another hand, it is important to conserve what is magic in sense of sacred. So it is important, for example, that to come in the temple, to visit the temple, it is a path, it is a travel, a voyage, un viaggio, not just a ticket you pay to go in a museum, which is a very nice action to do.
Yes.
So as I think, for example, Jesus Christ made many years ago, revealing to the crowd what could be a path of freedom. It is my personal opinion. We are doing something in the same way. So keeping a very secret and sacred thing for years in order to make it grow as a seed with a plant, where I hope that this plant could be a good virus for humanity.
A healthy virus.
Yes.
I have a question for both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you ready? So moving to the let's say to the daily life. How can we, from your point of view, how can we switch from, let's say, ordinary view of the life to a magical view of the life? How can we introduce into our lifestyles a magical point of view? How can we put magic into our routine, in what we do daily, what you do daily and what you do daily, in order to, let's say, share how can this magic that is so deep, so sacred, can come into, and like we're trying to do in Damanhur, into our lifestyle?
Yeah. I start to answer from my point of view, but also I want to ask you the same question to Opossum, because he's a researcher about that. But I think that one very important approach is to think about magic and spirituality, especially as something that happens every day in the daily life. Something not so big, not so strong, not so, not so awesome, but something that we do every day. So keeping this continuity, because you were talking about the plant, the seed. If you have a plant, or if you have a child, you have to nurture this creature. You have to create something, and so every day you have to do something about that. When you wake up in the morning or when you go to sleep. For example, the Damanhurian, before they go to sleep, they spend 10 minutes breathing.
Yeah, exactly.
And this action to breathe, to inhale and exhale, is a way to conclude, to stop the loop of the day. It means also to stop the fear, the stress, everything that we are bringing with us from the day, to stop it, to die, in order to reborn the day after, as a brand new person. This is very important if we want to apply magic, because magic is something related with consciousness. It's not something related with react or enter into a loop. Maybe this is why all magic was always in the history of mankind something covered only for a few people, for the people able to express it without distorting it. So from my point of view, we have to do something every day, an action, something maybe very simple. On the other hand, I think that we have to write down projects, dreams, ideas. So in our life, we have many needs and we have many problems. Everyone, problems and needs. But this is something that we don't choose to have. It's something we have to handle. But as a creatures, we can also have many dreams. We can also have many projects, because sometimes during the day, there are magical moments where you are aligned, and in this moment you have to be ready with your dreams, with your project. If you don't have dreams, because you're not trained to design, to list dreams and ideas, you have nothing to send. So this is my approach to magic. I'm not entering into a specific technique.
Yeah. Maybe we see it later. There's also some questions about how can we do that. Opossum.
Adding to what Gnomo said, I appreciate it. I think it's right. I agree.
You agree?
Adding to that, I think that magic for me in the daily life, it is to put a meaning into our actions. So in the process of thinking that we are a spiritual creature inside of the world of the forms. So as some traditional philosophers told, thinking that there is a unique spirit, a unique, we call divinity, inside of the world of the forms, who is doing an experience. So it is a very practical approach, and I think that also having positive approach with life, it is a good way to make this divinity express inside of the world of the forms, so everything could be magic. And in this way, I think that also teaching or going to the everyday work of any one of us could be a magical action. I know that this could sound banal, but with banality, we made a society, many communities, a temple, going to the also in the deep reasons of every one of us.
Usually, sometimes easy doesn't mean simple. So the easy things to do doesn't always are like so simple to apply to the daily life, like the things that you both mentioned. Because
Yeah,
I think that most of the people, when we're talking about magic, they maybe try to understand how can they, let's say, apply to a life. As Gnomo was saying, we do face challenges, problems, positive situation, negative situation, and all this part. So we need to, let's say, to share and to understand together how this can be, what are the tools, but also the mindset that can be applied to be a magician, because that's the next question that I want to introduce. But we can see first, because
yeah, we have some questions.
Questions?
Yeah, we have questions
about the
from some friend. Yes, the first question is, please, what is the breathing practice you do before sleep? It's very nice to have a question about that, because I think this is a very practical tool about magic and to apply magic. It's quite usual. Many Damanhurians, before they go to sleep, or someone maybe when they wake up in the morning, depends, once a day, they choose to spend usually 10, 11, 12 minutes breathing. It's a very simple way of breathing. It's a breathing where we inhale from the nose and we exhale from the mouth in this way. So having a pause in between. The technique, the action is very simple. You have to be conscious, you have to be present in the action of breathing. So you don't have to do something very special. You only have to be present in this cycle of inhale and exhale. That is a way to take from the world and put to the world something. It is an exchange. This very simple action that you do, especially if you do it before you go to sleep, is also a very good way to relax your body. And if the body is more relaxed, the body will sleep well. And if the body will sleep well, your dreams, your night moment will be deeper. It means that we will be, for example, more easily connected to the other world, the world of dreams. That is a complete topic. It's a
next episode. Maybe.
Yes, we need to spend an episode to talk about dreams. But in a nutshell, in this way, we can also exit and re-enter into the material world every day. This way to die and reborn, if you prefer, for example, in the Egyptian tradition, going to sleep was a sort of small moment of death.
Yeah.
In this way, we can stop, we can close the loop we bring with us during the day. The stress, the loop, everything that is not so well to bring with us. This technique to stop and restart, to die and reborn, is a powerful method to apply magic. Powerful. So to explain in few words, this action. We are receiving many questions. From our friends.
Peaceful Penguin is saying actions are required in order to manifest the things we say and we want to exist for ourselves, for others, and for humanity as a whole.
Yes.
So it's connected with what
it's connected, and this friend is touching a very important point: action. We connect magic with action, and action is always a practical action. We trace something, we do something. Okay, it's not something we do in our mind, only in our mind. Yeah.
And then so I think this is connected with what we were saying before. I think so. I'm just supposing being positive and all this part we were saying. So say, that looks idealistic. I'm a complete materialist. I want to add something exactly. I want to add something to this question, because sometimes we do think that magic it's something spiritual and not connected with reality. Like someone is living the magic. So it's not pragmatic. And a magician is not someone that is taking care of the matter. So let's go deep in this topic, because we have to, I think, really reframe the concept of being a magician, and this is someone that is using matter, and actually that's where he starts from to transform itself. Can you add something about that?
I think that it is a very connected topic with what we were talking about before, because dividing the idea of spirit and the idea of the material world, it is a political way to divide the real strength of the human beings. Because if there is an idea which puts the spirit there and the material in another place, it is a way to
split human beings,
to split the human being,
to broke
human being. So that's why the action is fundamental. The conscious action is fundamental, and especially a conscious action with a direction.
Mm-hmm.
So giving a much more precise idea of a direction to your life. Just to make an example, entering in an idea of designing your own future in order to make your dreams come true. Making dreams come true, it is a very practical thing to do every day. It is 24 hours work for every one of us, especially if you use, just to make another example of a magical tool, a personal diary, where every day you can write down also dreams, for example, every day. And dreams, also the dreams during the night, and also the dreams, the practical dreams of the daily life, with a specific design of your own future, in order to put the bricks on your own physical house. It is so simple that is very difficult to identify your dreams and to make them true inside of the world of the forms.
And this is connected with one point that is touching the peaceful penguin, our friends, saying, okay, time and attention are your cosmic currency. And I want to ask you, Gnomo,
yes,
connecting what was saying Opossum, that it seems that the magician, so the person that is applying magic into daily life, is a person that knows how to relate with time. So how to use the time as an alchemical element to manifest and to create something inside and outside his own being. So what the time as an element, an alchemic element, play? What's the role of the time in this game of using magic into our daily life?
Yeah, from our point of view, time is the blackboard where you are drawing our life. Again, the risk is always to put something outside of us. Time is not outside of us. We are made of time. You are made of time. I am made of time. The chair is made of time. Albert Einstein described us in a very simple way that space and time are only two different faces of the same object. So we have to remember that we are the time. And so when we express us, we are expressing, we're using time. When we are not conscious, because we are very focused on the past or on the future, we are not using the time. It's the time that is using us. So we are an effect of life. We are not a cause of life. That's why it's very important, at least once a day, to be conscious, to spend time to come back to the present, for example, breathing, coming back to the present and coming back to be more real, more present, in order to use what the penguin, the peaceful penguin is touching. So attention and consciousness. So the power, we have to observe the reality is the power to create the reality. But we have to be here now, and not to be, constantly moved from the past and the future. But again, if we want to do that, and so to apply the magic, we have to do it every day. Yeah. And we have to spend time to come back to the present and to come back to my body, because my mind can be in the past or in the future. My soul is everywhere. The only aspect of me that is into the present is the body. So we have to come back, we always have to come back to the body. The body is the key. That's why in all the different magical traditions, the body has a main role, because it's a way to express energies, is a way to produce energies of many ways. For example, think about the Tantra or the pranayama, talking about the breath.
It's the first magical instrument, the body.
Yeah.
So the magician used as a tools the body as a magical instrument.
So the best way to use time in order to express magic is to use yourself as a piece of time that is constantly exchanging in contact with the rest of the universe. That's why we are breathing. We are breathing because everything all around us, it's moving, it's changing. If I don't breathe, I can't change, I can't dance with the rest of the universe. I have to change myself if I want to be part of a place or a plane where everything is changing. Yeah. This is time. Time is change.
Did you notice that Gnomo is very passionate about time? You want to add something, Opossum, about
this? Receiving many other questions now.
Yes. Yes, the magician understands natural laws and acts within the boundaries.
Within the boundaries, yeah.
And I want to ask both of you something, but how can we combine the search of magic and spirituality into the actual modern world, into the digital world, into the technological world, into the big city life? How can, let's say, but from your point of view, from also your experience, how can we, let's say, put this concept in a way that are also helping us to give meanings to what is happening right now around us in the world and so on, and all the challenges that we are facing?
I want to point out that Damanhur started to apply magic from 1975 when we founded Damanhur, because Damanhur is a very practical place with houses, with temples excavated into the mountains. So we are applying magic from 50 years.
Yeah.
The secret, I think, is to be conscious that the first act you have to do in order to apply magic every day is to act. So action is directly and strongly connected with synchronicity. If you want to use the synchronicity, you have to act. So, and if you have to choose from two wrong actions, it's better to act and do something wrong instead to pause and to wait. It's very important. So this is my first point of view.
I agree. I deeply agree, and I add that just because we think that our body, it is completely embraced by a web of what we call the microlines, which are the thin body of the physical body. And we think also that also the world and also the worlds are caged by this kind of web around. We are strictly connected with the world and the happenings. So when we perceive that our behavior is completely with the universe, I feel completely I am completely connected with the universe. It's true. It is also technically true. That's why action is the first tool of a magician. The conscious action, I add, is the real tool of a magician. Voice, obviously, is a real tool of the magician, as in all the sacred ancient texts. It's written that the word is the first action of creation.
Yeah.
So I have to say that thoughts are not real if we don't put inside of the world of forms. So breathing is real, talking is real, drawing is real, going to the bike is real, and so on. And time by time, just to return to the famous time to time,
Time after time
topic, persons have the consciousness, I am sure about that their actions could change the world because they are already inside of the world. We are already inside of the world. About the difficulties of towns, modern towns, and so on.
Yeah, big cities.
Big cities. How can I
The
put?
famous New York.
The famous New York.
How can be a magician in New York?
It depends. You can be a magician also, whatever. Yes, I would not like a lot to stay in a big town. I come from, to be in Italy, I come from a big town, but there are many years I don't live there. And when I go, I perceive sometimes the only real living life, the trees in the avenues. Because everything, it comes time by time more dead, than also if it is very glittered.
Yeah, sure,
and manifested, I perceive less life, so less thought, year by year,
inside that environment,
in the daily technology, but is my personal perception of the world.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, to me, it was important to point out that a magician, that everyone can be a magician,
Certo.
right? So, age, anything, we can all be magician, and you can be a magician wherever you are. Because if I'm not wrong, I remember that a magician, he or she always find around himself the tools that he needs in that specific moments to let something happen. So we do all have always around us what we need in order to let something happen, if the action is at the basis of our, let's say, philosophy and so on, because we need to move the events around us and connect with that. Someone is asking, so you told that plan to how to get meaning of life. I would love to know your ideology as completely predictable as possible. So I think that this question, to go through it, is how to get the meaning of life from the point of view of Damanhur, of the magician. So we can connect that the magic of life is also understanding what life is, who we are, where we go, what is happening around us. So starting with you, Gnomo, how do, as Damanhurians, go through these big questions that I think all of us, let's say, face once in a life?
Yes, I think that the meaning of every one of us, if we want to become magicians, if we want to apply magic, first of all, is to do a path in our life in order to discover what is my own mission, what is the mission of every one of us. We believe that everyone has his own mission. We are here in this life because we have something to do, we have something to express, we have something to discover. So I think the meaning is in the same time also the mission. That's why we have to discover the mission. So we have to dig inside of us. We have to do a path. Magic is not something we can apply, easily in terms of something that we can eat, something that we can use, because today we want to apply magic. We have to do a part. We have to spend time every day, and we have to discover the real mission that everyone has. So why am I here? More than where I come from and where I'm going, but who am I? Know yourself from all of it. So I think this is part of the meaning of life, because we are the life. Another friend is talking about speciesisms. So the idea that one species is better than other species. We completely don't agree with this approach. For us, all the species must be in equilibrium. Of course, we are still today in an age where the species are not in equilibrium. Human being is overcoming the other species, is destroying other species. This is not a magical approach, because a magician understands that if you destroy the environment, is destroying itself, because we are connected to the environment. We cannot destroy the environment thinking that we can survive to this completely crazy action. So I think that in the moment where we start to understand or start to discover the mission that everyone has, the meaning of everyone, we start to respect the other.
And, yes, I agree with the idea of finding the mission of every one of us, especially because when step by step you find your mission, or you are finding, or you're going to find your mission, the events of life talk with you very clearly. If you are in the right direction, events talk to you that you are in the right direction. What is the right direction? For a killer, could be killing people. For a painter, could be paint a canvas, and so on. The right direction is the direction coming from your deepest part. So that's why I agree with Gnomo that to find your mission, you have to find a path which accompanies you
through that
goal.
Talking about your experience in Damanhur, so you decide to join, let's say, the Damanhurian school, philosophy, community, so on. What the Damanhurian, let's say, philosophy, and what in your experience as becoming a magician and being a magician brought you? What are the things that Damanhur really give you as a tools to help you to become a magician, to have this awareness that you're talking about? If you could pick one thing.
For me, doing things with the others, with a collective goal, with a collective. Just to make an example, I have a dream. Gnomo can have a dream. You can have a dream. But if we put our dreams together, we have a stronger strength than a singular dream. Curiously, making practical dreams with other comrades, with other brothers and sisters, allows to find your own personal mission. So by one hand, we can build an Atanor, we can build a pot, the Harry Potter
magical pot.
Yes, or the magician pot. By another hand, in that pot, you can find your own element, as in the famous element table of the elements. Because there is the kitchen where you can cook your favorite food.
Sure. So, like, And then Gnomo is your turn to answer to this question. So you say that the groups and the others can help you to understand and get to know faster your own mission, because helping each other to this journey and mirroring between each other, you can far easily be in touch with yourself and find hints and, let's say, part of the mission that you are here to accomplish.
It is a balancing between the individual and the collective.
Yeah.
It's in a tree. The tree are many leaves, but in the same time branches, but in the same time the trees, and
then
in
the
the same
forest.
time the oak tree, and so on. But in the same time, it is important also the leaf.
And
Yes.
in your journey in the Damanhur school, Gnomo, what?
In my journey, yes, I think that most important, I was going to
say the same
to
thing.
say the same thing.
Of
So
course.
to the
We are in a total synchronicity.
yeah,
magical
but
thought.
another point that we can touch is that of course in my experience I think that the path is about to discover your own master inside of you, but to discover your own master, first of all you have to start searching for a master outside of you that can help you. That can be, you know, everyone or everything, something outside of you that can give you, you know, like a mirror, the feedback about you. After that, during your life, you can step by step discover your own master. This is part of the tool of the magic, of the magician in magic. Yeah.
So, do we want to see the last topic? Maybe we can. So, someone is asking to us, do you research anything about transhumanism? I can add something.
I have a very dangerous idea.
Dangerous ideas. Let's
Go
add
on.
something about, to make it connect with magic, that's the topic of tonight.
Yeah.
The manipulation of, let's say, the body and the using of technology. How can technology and human being and magic comes together into an equilibrium, which you were saying before, in order that technology and let's say knowledge can improve and help the evolution of humanity instead of, let's say, destroying what is our integrity, what is our, let's say, purity that we have.
Yes. Damanhur spent a lot of energies and a lot of techniques, courses, seminars, in order to help human being, help every one of us, to reawake many powers, organs that we have, but we completely forgot in the last 10, 100,000 of years. So human being is a species that is sleeping. I think is not the good way, is not the right way to search this extension, this improving into technology. I think that the best way to improve human being is to reawake the potential we have from thousands of years that we completely forgot. So we come back to the research of what we are, what am I really, to remember, to recover my memories, to come back to the complete design of human being, the complete human being, the powerful human being was a human being connected, where human being was not divided in many, like we express the life today. So I think that this is very important. So not the technology, but the reawakening of the potential we have inside.
Also want to add something about this topic?
Yes, my idea is very similar. And I think it depends by the consciousness that persons have. If the persons have a real high consciousness, what's wrong in using technology, for example, for an eye or the teeth or hands? It is fascinating under that point of view.
Depending on how you use it.
Exactly.
Or maybe depends if are you using something or are used.
Esatto.
The famous example of the, let's say, of modern technology, or like the knife. You can use a knife to cut the bread, or you can use a knife to hurt someone. So it always depends how you use the tools in order to do something.
So for that
Or
reason,
in the same with the same approach, you can use the phone in order to improve your potential, or you can be used by the phone because you have to use the phone every day because you are addicted to the phone. This is not that you are using the phone, it's the phone that is using you. So you stop to be a human being and start to be the phone.
So yes, so I think in this age, the humankind is something is on a zip where some
On a
people
crossroad.
on a crossroad. Thank you, because it is a famous age of Aquarius, the same famous Kali Yuga and so on, and I think that many persons can be enlightened. Many persons can become magicians in this life, because magician means human. The human has the natural power of magic. It is not an extra power. It is not something which is not human. It's human.
Yeah.
As the power of healing persons, the mother who is healing the stomach of the child is a power. Anyway, in this age, there is the danger to confuse the material world with the only possible world. It is my own opinion.
Yeah.
So, for example, I love material world. Sometimes I love also technology, less than Gnomo, but there are aspects I say, for example, in graphic design or else. The danger for me, I call it danger, but maybe because I am connected with the ancient traditions of esoterical schools. The danger is when there is only that. So without that phone, you can't
live anymore,
and the new phone is why don't you have the new
addiction?
As you were saying, you use. It's kind of that the technology can become a philosophy. So you can, let's say, you can get so used to connect with others through the social media that once the social media doesn't exist anymore, we are not anymore able to connect with the people around you. And this we have pragmatic experiment after, let's say, for example, the COVID experience. So the technology can get us addicted to the, let's say, to the approach that is giving to us, to the, let's say, the comfort. So
yes, there is.
Do we want to see the last question?
Yeah. Maybe in a nutshell, ask about: is there a sort of enemy? Is there something inside of us that is working against human being? Because
next episode,
in our potential, we are also destroying. We are also fighting. Today we have many wars. So why human being is expressing this negative aspect? In Damanhur, for us, this is a very serious aspect. We are always working around the two wolves in the Indian tradition. Do you feed the black wolf or the white wolf? This is something we have to take in account every day. That because we have two different, two different souls, a white one and a black one. They are not negative or positive. Depends how much you are able to bring everything, every expression of you in something that build, that design, or in something that destroy. To do that, you have to observe yourself. And to observe yourself, you have to use a journal, like Opossum was suggesting, so to write down every day in order to have a mirror and to have a relationship with the other people. Working groups, in communities, to listen to the feedback of the other. If you want to really understand if you are acting in the good way or if you're destroying something. Sometimes we are completely sure that we are doing the best, but if we ask to the other people, we discover that we are not
Very
doing the best.
bad.
So we have to listen to the feedback. This is completely not easy for many people, but this is the work of the magician. To feel, understand the feedback of the other. This is a way to destroy the enemy we have inside.
Yeah. You want to add something, Opossum, about that?
In our philosophy, we say that there is a so-called enemy. So some philosophies or school of magic, maybe, they say that no, there isn't. It depends only by thoughts and only by actions of the people. I think that this kind of enemy, this kind of mechanism, it is not the good and the bad, or death and life, or Shiva, Krishna, and the duality, and so on, the day and the night, and so on, Horus and Seth, and so on. But it is an anti-life mechanism. So the only way in our philosophy to overcome, to win this kind of mechanism, which is inside of the world of the forms, is to doing magic things with other people, or also
with ourselves.
Yes,
using fantasy, creativity, dreams,
and it works much more when you make a resonance with the other ones. That's why I think our experience has been so long, and I hope so strong. Because in all the actions, we put a very strong idea of community, but in the same time, a very strong idea on the person. In this way, I hope we can overcome the idea of becoming just batteries, as in the famous science fiction movie, and so on. But batteries using life and not batteries.
Yes.
Let's go to the end.
Yes.
Okay, so if you haven't done already, please leave a like and follow the channel so that you can see the next episodes that are coming. And thanks to all of you to be here with us. Thank you, Opossum. Thank you to Gnomo.
Thank you, Tello.
Thank you.
And yeah, we're gonna see you in the next episode in a month, if I'm not wrong. And
yes.
Thank you so much.
First Saturday of the next month. Subscribe to the community. And remember that for applying magic, we have to do it every day.
Every day. Con voi.
Con voi.